Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin at 6:08, Monday, June 27, 63 degrees. Got up to 81 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio streaming live on the Radio Pup app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160. Join the conversation. We are now joined by Rebecca Marzarella, Communications Manager for Children's Specialized Hospital. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning. That was a mouthful.
I'm telling you, I'm a professional. That's why they pay me here.
I'm going to say you were faster last week, though.
Really? Zach,
Yeah.
stop talking trash. And you're cutting into Rebecca's time. She's very, there's a
All
lot
right,
to
I'm
cover.
done.
Okay,
I'm done.
Thanks. Good job. So, Rebecca, you're actually joined also by Erin Shevlin, who is an intern with you guys this summer. So that's very cool.
Yeah, she tags along early this morning. Thanks, Erin.
Did you ask her to drive? I mean, you came no.
I didn't. We met here.
Oh, okay. That's
Yep.
cool. All right. Well, that's nice. All right. Why don't you tell us a little about Children's Specialized? What are you guys all about? What do you do? What's your impact all about? Go ahead.
Sure. So actually this year we're celebrating 125 years of helping kids with special needs and complex medical needs. Here in Toms River, we have 2 locations, one in Stevens Road, one in Lakehurst Road, and we help kids with anything underneath what I call the special needs umbrella. Right? So we have kids with autism or kids on the spectrum. We help kids who have developmental delays. We help kids with cerebral palsy. We also have, those are our outpatient kind of services. So that's what we do in Toms River on Lakehurst Road. But we also have an inpatient hospital in New Brunswick that helps with pediatric rehab. So kids recovering from brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, babies with complications from prematurity. They have, the tubes. We help them breathe again. We help them walk again and talk again. So that magic happens in New Brunswick. We also have what's called long-term care centers for kids. People don't realize that sometimes these kids are so medically complex. They need to live in basically a nursing home until they're 21. So we have 2 of those locations, one in Toms River here at our Lakehurst Road location, as well as one in Mountainside. And then in total, we have 13 locations that span from Egg Harbor Township, Clifton, Bayonne, Mountainside, Fanwood, that have all of those outpatient specialty care services for kids with complex medical needs. So they need to see a pediatric neurologist, a developmental pediatrician, a nurse practitioner that specializes in treating these kids. That's kind of what we do in a nutshell.
Cool. It's a big nutshell.
Yeah.
Just had an Austin Powers flashback there of him in a nutshell. How did I get in such a... Anyway, so I know that you guys are also... so explain to me the relationship with Robert Wood Johnson Barnabas.
Sure. So over the past couple of months, initially, let me say, we were part of the Robert Johnson Health System, right? We were an affiliate member, a great support as being part of that system. A couple months ago, I call it merger mania. So mergers are happening all over the state with hospitals, and we were part of one of them when Barnabas Health merged with Robert Wood Johnson Health System. So now it's RWJ Barnabas Health, if I can get all those letters right.
Yes, that's correct. So let me get this straight. So child goes to, let's say here, community medical center, mm-hmm. right? And it's something that's something that it's maybe outside of the community medical center kind of comfort zone. Would they then send that child to Children's Specialized, or how does that work? How does that kind of referral system work?
Sure. So it could go one of 2 ways. A child could have been in a traumatic accident, right? So there was a brain injury or a spinal cord injury. They would go to the trauma center, and then at community. Then if they weren't well enough to go home, and they needed to kind of recover from those injuries a little longer, they would come to New Brunswick and stay for 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
With intense therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. The other way would be if one of the docs at the hospital says, okay, no, you need to go see a specialist in neurodevelopmental pediatrics. And then they would come see us at an outpatient center, see one of their docs, and then they would possibly need outpatient therapy, so they would come once or twice a week for that PTOT speech.
Wow. Do you have background in medicine?
I don't, but I've been in PR and medical PR for 15 years. So I've watched enough Discovery Channel, a little bit of a kind of a, I don't know, I like to watch TV. And I also learn a lot along the way. working here.
Just to review, you're attributing your knowledge of medicine to your television watching.
Yeah, TLC, absolutely.
That's cool. No, I totally. I mean, listen, I totally get. I learned. I tell people all the time. I coach soccer, and everything I learned from PlayStation. Okay. So, which is bad.
Like the positions and being offsides and all that
stuff. The parents are super happy about that. By the way, they feel really good about the product they're being delivered. I'm like, no, I hit the L1 button. Why didn't you put the through ball through? Anyway. So moving right along. So why don't you tell us? I know that there's some fantastic specialty programs.
Yeah.
Right. So because it's camp season now.
Oh, I know.
So is there like a summer camp?
There are multiple summer camps. I like to say that we do much more than just provide health care. We provide a huge community service to not only all over the state, but here in Toms River because we have the 2 locations. So we have camps and clubs. So first we have this Pals Paradise Camp, and let me just back up. It's hard for parents to find camps for their kids when they have special needs, a place where they know their kid will be safe, cared for. Possibly there'll be activities that will be specific to them to work towards their therapeutic goals. So it's really hard to find those special camps that know what really goes into caring for these kids on a daily basis. So we have 2, actually 3. One is called Pals Paradise Day Camp. It's where kids can go during the day. Parents can drop them off. Kids of all different ability levels. So maybe kids with autism, kids who've suffered a stroke and they have one-sided weakness. And they just that's kind of a day camp. There's an overnight camp as well called Camp Kresge. That's here down in the Toms River area. I don't know the specific dates. I do know registration's full. Like if a parent's thinking about it, you pass that ship. You got to plan ahead to get your kid registered in time for these camps. So that's overnight, Camp Kresge. Another one is called Camp Become, the Become program. And it's interesting. We have it here in Toms River. We have it in Hamilton. We have it in Mountainside. And you don't think about when a kid has a brain injury, you kind of do have that stroke, one-sided weakness that you see. So maybe they limp a little bit or they can't use their one arm as good as the other. This camp is really cool. They do what's called constraint-induced therapy. So they put a really hard cast on the good arm. So the kid is forced to use their weaker arm. And that's for the entire week. It's very intense. They get to use their camper hand. So they use that hand to do fun things like fun camp things, water balloons, painting, all that fun, crafty stuff. So it's therapy, but the kid doesn't realize that.
Very cool. My wife did something similar with me. She puts duct tape over my mouth and she says, this way maybe you'll listen to me every now and then. You see, it's a similar kind of theory, I think.
Therapeutic.
All right, cool. So I do want to say, so I have a nephew that spent a good deal of time at Children's Specialized up in New Brunswick. Unfortunately, recently, after having a kind of a series of really unfortunate issues health-wise, 15 years old, and we visited him a number of times. My wife visited him 100 times, and just an unbelievably great organization experience. He felt better and better from all the things that were there. That were kid friendly. Having kind of fun rooms and having play rooms and having other kids around. It is helpful in the recovery process. When we get back, I want to talk a little bit about how you help the family. Right, because I think we talk a lot about, we always talk a lot about patients, and we don't always talk about how the families are impacted and what Children's Specialized does to the family. And more importantly, we're going to turn the conversation to Erin because we have to hear from her at some point, and we have to understand why in the world she chose Children's Specialized as an intern, right? I mean, that's important.
Absolutely.
We need to know this, right? Yes. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, back after this.
The Sean Hannity Show, this afternoon at 3. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin returns next. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.
Welcome back. We are here on Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. We are here with Rebecca Marzarella and, of course, Erin Shevlin, and we are talking about Children's Specialized. And so when we left, we talked about what you kind of do to kind of help the parents and the families of kids that are sick. And I know that Children's Specialized takes pride in what they do for the families as well. So why don't you tell us a little about that?
Sure. Great. I'm glad you're asking because we do take really great care of our kids. But most importantly, we practice what's called family-centered care. That's kind of a buzzword for healthcare, but we do it really well. Not that I'm modest.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Over the past year, we've helped over 28,000 children with kids with special needs, just to give you an idea of a scope of what we do. But the families are involved in every single one of those cases. We have what's called, and it's rare, we have what's called family faculty. So we actually find parents that have been patients, their kids have been patients. We get them on our staff and we pay them to guide us in deciding everything from nuts and bolts to, operations and policies, and making sure we're really focused on keeping the families and the whole family at the heart of every decision that we make. So these family faculty members, they sit in an operations meeting. They sit, they're on the unit. Also interacting with the nurses and the staff and the parents who it's a different kind of perspective when you get to talk to someone who's actually been in your shoes, right?
Right.
Who has been there when your kid has been diagnosed with a brain injury and can tell you it'll get better. So those parents are in their kind of worst kind of times in their lives, and they have someone to lean on who's been there. So that's our family faculty.
Cool.
I like to say that we kind of wrap ourselves around the entire family and support it through family faculty, but through a lot of other programs that we have.
Cool. I like the family faculty. It's like that guy from Hair Club for Men.
Yeah.
Who says, I'm not just the founder, I'm also a client.
I'm also a client.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why I always think of Hair Club for Men. It's strange. I can't figure that out. So that's great. So, I want to turn to Erin for a second because, Erin's an intern. And I'm just curious as to why you would choose Children Specialized. I mean, that must say that they're having an impact in the community, and you wanted to kind of get a better sense for what they're doing. So why don't you tell us a little about that?
Okay, so I just graduated from Monmouth this past fall. I was PR marketing, and I have always been really heavily involved in nonprofits throughout my life. And I have a lot of friends and close family who work at Children Specialized, and my brother was there for a little bit when he was young. And I really just felt like this was something. You can't really explain it until you get in there, the environment and everyone who works there. You walk down the hallway, and it's such a hard place to be, but every single person you interact with is smiling. They're always so positive. It's just an incredible environment, and to be part of something like that is really why I did it.
Very cool. And you did really well there because you were having a picture taken by Rebecca while you were doing that.
No pressure.
I was trying not to make eye contact.
Yeah, you were like, oh, let me just seem like I'm still, playing it cool here.
Oh,
and that was good, a good action photo. So, but listen, that's a great. So it's really a great testimonial, not only for you what you want to do, but also on the organization in general, saying, listen, I know this is where I want to kind of learn and experience more. So, very, very cool. So let's see, Rebecca. I know we've talked about a number of programs so far. What if you were to say what do you think? What's the program that kind of is the most? What are most of the kids like? What's the most utilized service or program that Children Specialized offers?
Sure. Well, it's no secret that New Jersey has the highest autism rate in the country,
right?
And Toms River has kind of like a bigger bubble of those kids. So we treat about 7,000 different children each year who are on the autism spectrum, whether it's through screenings, developmental, free evaluations, therapy, doctor visits. So autism is one of our biggest service lines, and we help with those kids, but we also have community programs surrounding autism that I wanted to share today. So this helps. Okay. So we have a lot of, we have this thing called the Coles Autism Awareness Community Hub, right? So it's an online resource where families, not just patients, families can go on and find out more information about living with kids with autism. And I'll tell you more about that later.
Look at that. Nice job. So we can learn more about that when we come back, right? Because that's a great topic to get into.
Yep.
And then we can also, don't forget, we're going to hand you both your magic wand after the break. 2 magic wands for Children Specialized
I know what
to
I'm
make an
gonna say.
impact on the world. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin talking Children Specialized Hospital. Back after this.
The news is next. Live from the WOBM Newsroom, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Bob Levy Broadcast Center, overlooking the Toms River. It's time to get up, get out, do something. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Be a part of the show. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, 6:33, Monday, June 27, 63 degrees, up to 81 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio, streaming live on the Radio Pop app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160. To join the conversation, we are joined by Rebecca Marzarella from Children's Specialized Hospitals, along with Erin Shevlin. And so when we left, that was pretty fast, Zach. Come on.
Your face
that
turned
was a good
very
one.
red.
That was
I
strong.
might have to give
right?
it to you.
That was
one.
strong.
That was
strong
good.
because you challenged me last time. You threw the gauntlet down.
Had to do it.
Anyway, so we were talking about autism programs. So when you were so rudely interrupted by the Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin theme song. So go ahead, Rebecca. You're back on.
Sure. So it's the Coles Autism Awareness Community Hub. And what is that exactly? It's a virtual world where parents can go and find all sorts of resources if you have a child with autism or on the autism spectrum. So how do you take a kid to the dentist who hates bright lights and, crazy noises and people in their mouth? We actually have a video about that. We have 26 videos about all different types of topics. How to go on play dates, how to make sure they take showers every day, how to deal with other issues like traveling. Unless you have a kid on the autism spectrum, you don't realize how challenging everyday life activities are. And this hub is got hundreds of pages of resources you can print out, videos you can watch and share. So I encourage everyone to take a look.
Very cool. All right, good. So I know that there are some upcoming events, upcoming things happening. So why don't you give us the quick rundown on that?
Sure. We have two. One, actually, you kindly reminded me about, is our upcoming golf outing. It is in the Pine Barrens, July 19th. So if you like to play or don't, or just like to socialize on the course, which I like to do, come out and support our foundation, which actually does an amazing job raising money for these kids. Last year, our foundation raised over $8 million, and we're hoping to raise more. The second event is more of kind of helping the family. It's one of our workshops. It's a 7-week series. It's called Help Manage Your Child's Challenging Behavior. God knows I need help with this every now and then, right?
Yeah.
It starts tomorrow, June 28th. You can still sign up online. Our psychologist leads the program and gives you some real life tips and tricks on how to, manage those meltdowns, how to, be consistent, and then you'll get some good results in the end. Like I said, that's 7 weeks, and it's Tuesdays, 5:30 at our Toms River location.
Very cool. And of course, we can't forget that coming up at the end of October is the big umbrella gala.
The gala,
right?
Yep, October 22nd.
You lit up like you were like a 16-year-old girl getting ready to put on her gala dress.
I am. I love it. I get my hair done. I get my makeup done. It's one of the most amazing events our foundation puts on. Everyone is surprised. There's usually some twist. It has a theme this year. You want to know what it is?
Sure.
It's because it's our 125th anniversary. We're saying hats off. Okay, hats off to everybody who's helped children, our donors, our volunteers, anyone who's supported the hospital. So I think there will be hats involved.
Very cool. And you can learn all about that at www.childrens-specialized.org. And if you go into the giving tab, you can figure that out. So if you're inspired by Rebecca and Erin this morning, you can go ahead and do that. And speaking of inspiration, so now is the fun part of our interview where we hand each of you a magic wand, the magic pixie dust, the fairy dust, the ability just to wiggle your nose and make something happen in a special way. We're going to start with Erin. What are you doing with your magic wand, Erin?
If I had a magic wand, I would wish for a world where all children could reach their full potential.
Boom. That sounds really good.
So
Drops mic.
She did a mic drop and everything on there. Like, okay, all right, whatever. That was like her. That was like your mission statement, like elevator story deal. All right, good.
There you go.
All right, look, she's an intern. She's really learning quick,
You know what?
right?
No, she's concise, and that was very well said, Erin.
Spoken like somebody born in the Twitter age of 140 characters or less. All right, go ahead, Rebecca. What do you got?
Unlike me, who am selfish and a little bit long-winded, so hang with me for a little bit. Okay, so back to the autism resources. We have an app. We actually have two apps. The first one I'm going to talk about is for actually kids to use. Kids who are on the autism spectrum. It's called the Healthier Me app. and it's helped kids learn how to live a healthier lifestyle by making good food choices and making sure that they brush their teeth every day. And sometimes kids who have autism need a little bit reminders. They need to check things off. They also need some help with the checklist on how to do which steps to take to complete a task. So this Healthier Me app is brought to you by Kohl's. They are a huge supporter of ours, so they've sponsored this. And the cool thing about the Healthier Me app, it also has rewards built into it. So every kid wants to be able to do something and work towards something. So the user, the child, would work with their parent to establish what their reward is, and if they accomplish, the several tasks that they have, in a week or a month or even the day, they get to have that special treat.
Cool.
That's the first app. The second app is not autism related. It is kind of over our whole services, I should say. It's called the Parent Pal, and it's for parents of kids with complex medical needs and special needs to use to track their development during therapy or with their doctor visits. So, when I had young kids, I looked for development apps to keep trackers of, but they were all for babies and toddlers. And so how many times did they eat? How many times did you change their diaper? Are they reaching their milestones? But with our kids, they're so unique that none of those would have been appropriate for them. And a lot of times our doctors give our parents homework, okay? So they say, okay, let me know when their pain is really bad, or let me know how many hours they slept, or let me know what they're eating and why they don't like it. So we created this Parent Pal, and these are both available on the Apple Store, by the way. You can download them today for free, and that's kind of my magic wand here.
Very cool. And so I looked at both, and I like that they're colorful. I get wowed by pretty colors.
That's what we do.
I'm a guy. Shiny things, shiny objects take my attention away. So I was playing with the app. Okay. It's your opportunity now. We have about 2 minutes left. Why don't you give us the propaganda portion of our show, where folks would go to learn more about Children's Specialized, website, email, phone numbers, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Tinder, whatever you got. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is great. I'm excited. This is propaganda
no Tinder,
is what I
the
do.
way.
No Tinder. No.
I can always tell when I have younger people in the studio because they laugh at the Tinder joke.
That was funny.
When I do that with like the Historical Society folks, they're like, "What? What's Tinder?" Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so Jeremy mentioned the website. I'll mention it again, children's-specialized.org. We're on Facebook, so if you do facebook.com/children's-specialized, we've got a really great page. Our fans are very involved. We provide fun content, useful content. It's not stuff that's going to bore you. So please become our fan on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Children's Spec NJ. I know. We had to shorten it. It's Twitter.
Yeah.
Right. And also on Instagram, same thing, Children's Spec NJ. And we have a very active social presence, and we'd love for people to join in on the conversation.
Right.
If you need to call someone, it's 888-CHILDREN. That's 888-CHILDREN. You can hit 0 to find the operator. But I do suggest everybody go to our website. We have a special 125th anniversary website that myself created. I'm a little proud of it. There's a really cool interactive timeline that talks about when we created the hospital over 125 years ago. It was a bunch of women in Westfield who wanted to help kids in the country. And then it evolved to helping kids with polio, and then helping, kids with brain injuries and spinal cord injuries. And now we're into the autism kind of world, along with a lot of other things, cerebral palsy, anything you can think of special needs. So website, children's-specialized.org.
Very cool. And in case you're wondering, just to complete the circle, swipe left on Tinder. Listen, I want to thank you, Rebecca Marzarella, Aaron Shevlin, Children's Specialized Hospitals. We learned a lot. We learned a lot on a Monday morning. That's it's gonna blow my head up for a little while, but that's all right because I'll get to talk about some more mundane, inane stuff after the break. And listen, most importantly, Children's Specialized Hospital provides an incredible service for our kids with with all kinds of different issues that they need to deal with, and more importantly, as importantly, also helps our families who are trying to deal with those same conditions. So obviously, keep up the great work. Keep promoting a great organization and a great service for our communities. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for driving all the way down here.
3:30 was
Monday
really
morning.
early. Yep.
It was early. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Back with more after this.